Okay, so today's video is about the basic characteristics of organisms. So we're going to look at a couple of different things about living things. So our 5 vocabulary words we're going to learn today are autotrophic organism, heterotrophic, reproduction, sexual reproduction, and asexual reproduction. So our first word is autotrophic organism. And if you remember from like the word autobiography, auto means self. So these are organisms that can make food themselves. So for example, in the picture, there's a plant. So an autotrophic organism is an organism that is able to make its own food. Now, when we talk about making its own food, I don't mean like putting some popcorn in the microwave and that's making food. It means that it makes the food within its body. So here's an example of a plant. 99% of plants are autotrophic. With all of these characteristics, there are always 1 or 2 exceptions that don't follow the normal rules, but we're just going to focus on like what normally happens. So most plants are autotrophic. They take in sun and nutrients from the soil and water, and they make their own food within themselves through photosynthesis. So for example, here's a sea turtle. It has to swim around in the ocean and find food to eat so that it can have energy to live. All right, so now we're going to move on to reproduction, and it's the process of an organism producing more of its own kind. So here we have a picture on the left. It says adults and offspring. So basically you have full-grown snakes, and then at the bottom there are baby snakes. So for example, here this is a mama bear, and she has 2 little cubs with her, and this is reproduction. So you have full-grown mom bear, and you have 2 little baby cubs. Okay, so sexual reproduction is a method of reproduction that requires both a male and female parent. Okay, so just know for sexual reproduction, you have to have 2 parents. Each parent gives off 50% of their DNA, and then the baby is a mixture of the 2. So like when we have those grizzly bears, you have a mom grizzly bear and a dad grizzly bear, and then the baby bears are a combination of 2. So they may be like tall like their dad, but they may be skinny like their mom. Okay, and this is the same way with people. Like you may have brown hair like your mom, but you may have green eyes like your dad. Okay, so you're a little bit of mom and a little bit of dad. And this is the same way for all animals. So here's another example that I love because I love penguins. We have mama penguin and daddy penguin, and then in between we have baby penguin. So asexual reproduction is a little bit different. This is a method of reproduction that requires only 1 parent. So basically, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The cells can split. That's how bacteria reproduces. You can cut like a fungus in half, and then it will regrow, and then the other half will regrow, and now you have 2 fungi. Okay, so asexual reproduction is just a little bit different. You only need 1 parent, and the baby, like the baby mushroom or the baby bacteria, is exactly the same as its parent because it only has 1 set of DNA that's exactly the same as the DNA that the parent had. So if we reproduce asexually, then the baby would look exactly like the parent. Okay, they'd have the same brown hair, same green eyes, whatever the parent had, the offspring has too. Example of a shelf mushroom that all of these mushrooms are genetically identical, and they just kind of split and create a new baby mushroom. But all these mushrooms are exactly the same. If we were to look in their cells at their DNA, it would all look exactly the same.